tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Now we got the music.
There's the music.
Sweet.
Yes. Hey everybody. Welcome to AFTERBUZZ TV. We are here to do Gotham, episode number 5.
There it is.
That was perfect
Fiber!
timing.
That was good. I was waiting for it. I was hoping to build up for it.
Perfect.
Guys,
Everyone's here today. Arkham let us out. We have a one-day pass to get this done. I'm Ryan Hooks. To my left, Monse Bolanos.
Hi, everybody.
To her left, Joyce Ajouri.
Hello, hello.
All the way around the corner, Steve Kauffman.
hello, hello, hello.
What up? Let's do this. Let's talk Gotham.
Love it.
So, it's getting good.
It is.
I thought there was a lot of development this week on like a lot of different levels
There was.
that I really liked.
Yeah.
A lot of awesome stuff happening in 1 week.
It was a
And
good
like-
episode.
And a bit of a monster of the week as well. Like you get the drug and like one villain with the drug. But then you also get a whole episode that kind of brings you into this rabbit hole that we haven't dove down yet.
So do you think they're going to start doing that? Are we going to start getting a monster of the week that could potentially be the Batman villains only for a week or two and then they're gone?
It seems like the formula they're following right now. I mean, and I was also telling Monse earlier that this episode, you know, it was good. There were a lot of good storylines, but that to me was also kind of its weakness. Like we did have the villain of the week, but all these storylines were happening in the episode. Nothing was really connecting until the very end when, you know, we'll get there. But that's just, I mean, yeah, it seems to me that they're going to go through the whole villain of the week formula, which is fine. It can work.
I hope they spice it up. I hope it's not like that every week.
Yeah.
You know, but it seems as though, like, you're right. They seem to be going through that pattern. I'm just hoping we're going to be wrong and that next week it won't be that way. And then-
But if they're all like this week, that's not the end of the world.
Not at all.
Because this is a nice mixture of it. There is like one villain who's completely gone by the end of this week, but he's indicative of a much overarching storyline that you'll follow throughout.
Because it definitely, the villain of the week definitely pushed forward the main storyline that we're going to follow for the coming weeks and maybe for the rest of the season, even with the stuff with Bruce and all that. So there was definitely a lot going on.
Most certainly.
Most certainly.
We didn't get Barbara this week, though.
I was a little
Sorry, Ryan.
I was so
Ryan
I
was-
thought at the very end when we saw Fish that was gonna be Gordon, and then I was like, oh sweet, here's Barbara, and then I was like, oh wait, that's not Gordon. Tied up to the bed.
But then I thought it was going to be a dream sequence because they're not technically together right now.
Right.
Turns out it wasn't Gordon at all, but that's okay.
No, I saw the side of the face and the short hair at first, and I thought it was Gordon, and then I was like, epic fail.
Oh, well.
All right, so a couple of things on this week's polls for our on demand. Gotham actually has fallen to spot number 4.
What?
But that's okay. That's not the worst news because Gotham has also risen 68% in viewing of like on-time viewing within
wow.
the first 3 days.
Cool.
So it's up. It was tied with Blacklist. It's at 4.7, which is it almost doubled in its viewing. So
Yeah.
less people are watching it on demand, and more people are watching it live now,
Or at
which is
least-
awesome.
I mean, it was a holiday last week.
I know.
Not to.
Well, the numbers that I get are 2 weeks behind for the
okay.
on demand.
So this wasn't last
on
week,
demand
it was
numbers
2
are 2 weeks
ago.
behind.
This
Right.
was, so it was Balloon Man.
Yeah.
So last week was not Balloon Man.
Yeah.
That's true.
Just in terms of viewing, I mean the numbers are always 2 weeks because they're
Okay.
like with the numbers that you get for ratings, they're usually within 3 days of the episode airing. Those are your DVR numbers and your actual live viewing numbers, and then the on-demand stuff is 2 weeks behind.
Got
In
it.
the aspect of what we've been getting the last couple weeks have been the first few episodes. You know, especially there are places where the episodes aren't airing, but people are watching them.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff, other countries and whatnot. Because we are in over 100 countries here at AfterBuzz TV. All right, so I want to talk first this week about Fish, since we started off with her a little bit. We get Fish Mooney, bits and pieces of her throughout this week, and she's been kind of just sprung in the episodes. And some people are actually saying that Fish is the reason they're still watching the show, or that her part is their favorite part.
Yeah, I mean, she's in it so little. I mean, especially the past few episodes, but she's so effective. Like, she's got something cooking, and it's going to blow up. Maybe in the next couple episodes, she'll have her big moment. But I think she's also great. I mean, I don't blame them for only coming back for her, because she's clearly got this really calculated plan that's just gonna hopefully be amazing when it pans out.
Well, and so we get this week, Liza returns, who we met last week, and they are working on their coaching skills, and her secret weapon is being developed throughout the episode. And then we also learn about Fish and some of her back end plots, because we do see her with Falcone and everyone else. And Falcone is actually saying he doesn't want to strike against Maroni for everything that's happened with the Arkham thing, which, is probably pretty smart on his part, because he doesn't want a war. I wonder if do you think he realizes that he's in a spot of weakness?
No,
Not
I don't think
yet.
he knows it yet. Yeah.
Especially at the end, he was clearly
Resounding no.
oblivious
Oh yeah.
to the bait that was ahead of him. So.
Oh yeah.
Definitely a resounding no.
Oh.
Excellent.
Oh, screams all around coming in the studio here.
Batman will handle it.
I'm back. Anywho's, back to the topic at hand. So there was, a lot with that development, and then we get at the end of the episode two major aspects that happen with Fish. First off, her bait, Liza, has been unleashed on Falcone because she's being coached throughout the things to say. Oh, I love you, baby.
Yeah.
And the way to say it, not just what to say, how to say
Yeah,
it.
because that's how Fish has gone through her entire career doing whatever she's doing, is by just feigning and being completely an actress, basically.
All women don't get that coaching?
It comes natural.
Does it come
Maybe,
natural?
maybe not.
Just some of us have to be a little groomed.
Meow. All right, so there was some definitely grooming going, and it clearly worked at the end, and Falcone fell for it and is listening to the song that she's singing because it has implications to his childhood and his mother, and clearly I'm getting the hint that Liza was dressed to look like Falcone's
His mother.
mom.
Yes.
That just goes to show how much Mooney knows Falcone, how much she knows how to get under his skin, like what really tickles him. Is that
What
the word I'm
tickles
looking
his
for?
fancy.
What tickles his fancy,
That's what you're looking
exactly.
for.
Yes. So she really knows how to get to the heart of him and to really destroy him if she wanted to, which I think is her goal. So.
Well, and we find out then as well that she has a partner in crime,
Nikolai.
Yes.
I was gonna say she said Nico at first, and I was like, but it's Nikolai. Anyway,
Well, fun fact.
Jeremy Davidson.
I think Nikolai is Nikolai Ondrejko, who was mentioned in The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises. He was the face and the identity that popped up. Remember when what's her name? Catwoman in The Dark Knight Rises, how her fingerprints were traced when she opened up Bruce Wayne's safe, but it was actually Nikolai's fingerprints. So I think that's the same guy.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Cool.
she's clearly not a 40-year-old man, as he says in the show. Interesting. That is
awesome.
if that's cool little Easter egg tidbit thing, tribute to the Dark Knight and whatnot.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
all before it all happened.
Before it all happened. Well, anyway, they're having an affair, but they also have a plan in place that's slowly working, and it's related back to Liza and the things they want to do to take over Gotham and to basically upset Falcone. Do you think at some point that they're going to involve Maroni in that? Or is Maroni just on his own?
I think Maroni's on his own. I think he's working separately from everybody else. And he doesn't strike me as somebody who plays very well with others either.
I agree with that.
It's like everyone else in the room with Falcone is trying to take down Falcone right to his face. Really behind his back, whereas Maroni is just like, nope, I'm just going to right to his face.
Obliterate, bluntly, just
Rob his
mess with
casino.
you.
But
Rob
see,
his casino and
So
make sure.
here's the problem then that I have with that. Because if Maroni is going for #1 spot to take it from Falcone, but also Fish and Company are trying to do the same thing, at some point they're all going to have to cross paths. And that's probably not going to end well for at least one party.
Nope. I can
Maybe
see that
two.
happening.
Yeah.
I think,
Do we see that in this season?
yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think it will be one of the bigger episodes.
Culminate
Yeah.
towards that?
Yeah.
Is there, do we have a mid-season break for this for holidays?
More than likely.
Not sure.
Well, because they got a pretty big order up top, right? They got like a 12,
16.
16. They got 16 episodes up top, so we're probably gonna get 16 episodes now.
You won't get there won't be time for
Yeah,
16
there's not
episodes
16
this part of the
weeks.
season before Christmas.
Yeah.
Because usually the shows break in the beginning of December.
Yeah, but they haven't had a week off either.
No.
They haven't had a week off since September 22nd, so it's like, I think we're probably just gonna go Thanksgiving. I'm going to predict they go to Thanksgiving and act like there's not a computer in front of me.
Well, you could look at the dates in the computer and make some estimated guesses about how far 8 to 16 to whatever episodes there are.
I'm pretty sure Wikipedia would just literally tell me how far they're
No,
scheduled.
that's way too easy to look it up on Wikipedia. We don't do that. That's cheating.
I have to type in Gotham and TV series.
Oh
It's
my
so
gosh,
hard.
it's such a pain. Look this up. We'll talk about something else. Let's keep talking. Do you feel like Maroney is right in his decisions to keep attacking, or do you think he should have let it go for a week?
I mean, I don't think this comes from a last minute decision or an impromptu decision. He's been thinking about this, and I think he feels like he's on the rise. And it's kind of like you, like if you get something going, you want to keep getting that ball rolling. So it's like he got what he wanted from Arkham, and now he just wants to keep the ball rolling. So I don't think he's wrong. I mean, I don't think he's right, but
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's going to stop him.
Well, it also helps that the Waynes are dead. The Waynes had this relationship with the Falcons. So, I mean, they're going to strike now because the Falcons are technically vulnerable. They got the lesser part of the deal, and now they don't have that power behind them. So it's like, let's strike now while they're down a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's definitely helpful.
Well, the other thing that's interesting is they mentioned to Falcone that they should attack. Now's the time to push back because people like this only understand one thing, and that is violence. So if we don't push back now, we're setting ourselves up. So they're telling him, Falcone, that he should do something, and he doesn't.
Well, partly because he trusts Fish, and Fish says, no, we'll go with what Falcone says, because Fish wants him to be weak. Because
Playing all sides.
Yeah.
she wants him to
got
be
this
weak, because
down.
then she... Like, I honestly think this is between Fish and Maroney at this point.
Between Fish and Maroney?
It's be really difficult. It would be really difficult for Falcone to come back at this point. Like,
Yeah.
unless he's dormant because he's such a ruthless person that, like, 3 weeks from now he'll start, like, okay, now I'm going to have to start a war. And he's, like, the most ruthless person ever. Like, oh, that's why he's dormant most of the time and seems weak. Because he just has no remorse for people.
We will find out.
Yes.
Because Fish does indeed have her secret weapon, which, if you recall, last week I said was what was going to happen.
I know you
In case
called
in
it.
case
You
you
said
didn't remember that. I
you
just
were
want to go
gonna-
and point that out.
because Falcone had a younger girlfriend before, right? And she got messed up. So now bring in this other beautiful young girl, swoop in and steal his heart.
I also want to continue that with secret weapons. Moving right along, this is your transition if you missed it, to Oswald Cobblepot.
Yes.
Maroney's secret weapon. I was so like on the edge of my seat this week when he was like, okay, I'm going to tell you who I really am. I'm Oswald Cobblepot, and I know a janitor, and I used to work for Fish Mahoney, and
Poor decision.
I was like,
Instantly.
what? Like, already, like this is too soon. This is too soon. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Boom! Head on the table. And I was like on the edge of my seat watching that, waiting to find out
Yeah.
how the reaction was going to go and
That's-
what
It's
was
like-
going to happen.
Oswald, as conniving as he could be, as mischievous as he could be, he still has that like naive mentality.
kinda
Like,
sweet.
Yeah.
he has that sweetness to him. That's kind of like, really, buddy, there's some information you still
We're-
got to hold back
Yeah.
until you prove
We are
yourself.
slowly going to see that sweetness beaten out of him.
Totally.
Throughout the life of this series.
Yeah.
Where it's just like every day, just a little bit.
He's a little less scared and a little less timid and
It's just...
cut up a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting that as we're watching the scene, because then they bring in Gordon and like, listen, we got to talk. We know about Cobblepot. We need you to tell us the story, or you're both dead.
I loved that entire
Yes.
scene. by
And
the
that
way.
whole scene was great. Yeah, Gordon was spot on in that scene, telling the story, and it's funny that instantly Maroney is in love with Cobblepot. Like now that this story is true and it's been proven true, they are just like best friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the information that you
He's
can
like
possibly give to me. At
The
this
son
point.
he never had
Yeah.
or wanted.
or wanted. Yeah.
Well, it's going to develop, and I want to see how far Cobblepot goes, because last week I was saying I think that he really is more involved than we see, and I feel like he's playing so much on every side, and he's causing so much of this war. It's almost like he wants to start the war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's a means to an end. Like we haven't heard anything about him saying he wants control of the city. He just likes the
I
city.
don't think that's what he wants right now.
I don't think-
Eventually?
we don't know
Eventually.
that. Yeah, we don't.
Do you
know
feel
that
like that's
language
something
yet.
he's working towards? Say he is playing all sides. Say he's working with everyone or helping out and everywhere to cause this drama. Does his end play become trying to be Don Maroney or Falcone or being that type of person?
That could be. I mean, where else would you go from where he is? I mean, that's that's
I
the
think
only
he's-
way up.
I think he's just trying to position himself smartly once the dust settles. That I don't think he thinks he's ready to run
Not
the
everyone
whole
wants to be the
city.
boss.
Yeah, I don't think he's thought that far, but I agree with you. Why not?
Yeah.
Why, when you're doing all this, you could eventually get to that. But I think right now he's just trying to cover his bases.
Well, I'm going to quote a famous line here that said, "Some people just like to watch the world burn."
Who said that?
This is true.
I believe it was Michael Caine.
Very fitting.
I'm
Yes.
familiar.
No, you
Was
haven't heard
this-
that before?
Was this in a movie?
Yeah, it was. It was in a movie called The Dark Knight Rises.
I haven't heard of this film.
No,
Is this,
it's good. You should check it out. You watch that.
is this an indie
Pull
film?
it
Is
up.
this?
Yeah, maybe it's on YouTube. Anyway, stop making fun of me. You know what I'm talking about. Don't play stupid. But that's the point, though. Like, where does Cobblepot go? Because at this point, it doesn't seem like his agenda, regardless of anything, is leading him to be in charge of Gotham or be that position,
I
be
honestly
that
don't
person.
I don't think that's what he wants yet.
I wonder if his actions are motivated by proving to everybody different things. Like he wants to prove to Gordon that he
That's more
knows, like
believable
he
to me.
knows how to help you, how to help Gordon. But Gordon doesn't want it, doesn't trust him. But he's trying to prove to him in a very strange way, in a corrupt way, that Gordon should trust him and should ask for his help and solving or ending this war that's going to happen. So
Yeah, this entire time I felt like Cobblepot just wants to be accepted and not be beat. Like
Yeah.
he's just trying to find
just wants some
someone.
friends, like-
He just wants a friend. He just,
Yeah.
and just someone who will maybe protect him or whatever.
like the city is, he says, like, this is my city, this is my home, but he's not welcomed in any part, and I think now he's slowly finding his way, his home in his home. So yeah,
Well,
in
okay.
Gotham.
Yeah.
And I'm also interested with Carbone, I'm going to call him Frankie Carbone, Frankie and Oswald's chemistry, because it seemed to me that Frankie was totally like,
against
what's going on? Why is
Yeah.
Maroni favoring this dishwasher in a suit?
Because we met him as one of Maroni's henchmen, Frankie
Yeah.
Carbone.
So
And he seems more on the pacifist side. Where he's like, well, he seems really trying to talk him out of robbing a casino just to rob a casino.
yeah.
And that for the Penguin to step in and just like, no, here's an even better way we can rob
Let's
this
go in the
casino.
basement. I know a guy.
Yeah. I like
And-
seeing Frankie on the screen.
And by the way, in like while doing that, the Penguin becomes a more trusted aide than a restaurant manager. He was a restaurant manager before that. That it's like, well, now he sees the Penguin as competition.
right.
Totally. Interesting
Touche.
to watch him
Yes.
play out.
Well, we'll have to wait and see, won't we?
Yes.
As always, we're going to have to wait and see. But in the meantime, let's talk about Bruce Wayne. I was really glad to see that they gave him some time this week.
Lil Wayne.
Little Wayne, he starts off our show with, he's creating this elaborate crime web. And I liked when Alfred asked him about, what if there's no revenge to be had in this? Like, what if everything you're doing doesn't lead to anything?
I love that statement because Batman, as I understand him, pretty much projects whoever killed his parents onto whoever the villain is that week or whoever he's fighting. So the idea of like, what if you never find out? I kind of want him to never find out because that's what'll torment him the most. And like the idea of revenge and orphaned and all the hero's journey stuff, but that thing too.
I'm actually reminded of another quote from a movie, but I can save it.
No, please.
All right.
I'm gonna do a bit either way.
Okay. Make no mistake. It's not revenge he's after. It's a reckoning.
I actually don't know that one.
Boom.
Actually, truly.
But I know. But I
no
like.
bit. I do not know that film.
Maybe
Right
I should
over
say
my
with an
head.
accent. Make no mistake. It's not revenge he's after. It's a reckoning. Anywho,
Still not sure.
Not sure. Move on. Don't worry about it. Val Kilmer, Tombstone. Anyway, he wants to understand Gotham. And that's like, it was a really cool thought to me. Like, it's not about being right, being wrong, solving crime, whatever. I just want to know why this is like this or what's going on. Or if he understands it, then he could possibly fix it.
Because he had this vision in his head of what Gotham was, thanks to his parents, what his parents projected on him, the image of Gotham.
Which was wrong.
Which was wrong. So to him, it's like, wait, my company is being run this way? I can't believe it. Or, yeah, it's just like...
Coming as a shock.
It is a shock to him, and he wants to figure out why that's happening. Not necessarily stop it, but to make it right.
I would love to see him rise to be CEO
At 12 years
12
old.
years old. 12-year-old CEO.
Well, we know, in the Batman's, especially like the Dark Knight ones, he is part of the company and has taken over the company and runs the company. So at what point, and I'm almost thinking it could be soon, that he steps in and talks to the board and tries to assert some form of power, but is maybe pushed out at first because of his age, which only makes him want it more.
Well, I think technically his shares belong to Alfred
Right.
as the legal guardian. So I believe Alfred could do his bidding for
Right,
him.
and they can go in together.
Yeah, but Alfred's trying to shield him. I think Alfred knows way more than he's letting on, and he's trying to shield him from the ugliness that is a boardroom in Gotham.
Yep.
I
There's
hope
only
not
so
for
much
much
you can
longer.
control.
Well, yeah.
But at the end of it, it seemed like he was starting to turn a new leaf.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely ended up because they go to this Wayne Enterprises brunch in, and we meet a couple of new characters. We have Mrs. Mathis, played by Sharon Washington, who is a medium level manager for Wayne and could possibly set up a meeting, but the board's really busy. But this is when it all goes down with the drugs and everything happening, and it opens Alfred's eyes.
Yeah.
That makes him see that there are some serious problems, especially with Wayne Enterprises, with corruption, and now especially that the Waynes are not there to control the company, that a lot could be going bad really fast.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can everyone just say yes?
We all
at once?
agree.
All at once. Okay.
We all agree with the statement.
All right. Done. I guess I hate being right all the time, but let's
nailed it.
let's just keep moving right along, shall we? Keep on keeping on.
Let's
All
do
right.
it.
So this whole week's entire subplot, if you will, which is our weekly story, is about a drug called Viper.
Yep.
Aptly titled episode name. And you were pointing out to us, Joyce, when we were watching the episode, they later commented on Venom.
Venom was their final perfected product, which later on in the comics is what gives Bane his power and his strength.
Yeah.
So that's a nice little illusion.
Potential.
I mean, it's far away from now, but it's cool to know that it exists now in this world. So
So that we know that Bane could be in the near future.
possibly.
I mean, I feel like they're going to have to start subtly hinting at things every week that are leading to the creation of new characters, because they are talking about all these characters that they're going to have to want and have to create and have to come up with, and where they come from. So we're getting there. It's that point where they have to start doing it.
Yeah.
Because if not, the season's going to go by. We're only going to see 3 villains, and then where will we be?
I'd be okay with only seeing 3 villains, but that is not the direction they're headed.
No.
We're gonna see Bane by like next season.
Or this season.
We could see Bane this season.
That's okay as long as the villain of the week isn't so cookie cutter. I don't mind it, but if they come back.
Yeah. Or well, they have to open up Arkham. You have to put them in Arkham
True.
so they can break out of
Ooh,
Arkham.
that'll be a
and
good
then
episode.
then by season 3, it's just each villain each week.
Okay, I gotta jump in.
You're
for a
into
second,
it.
guys.
I've been waiting for it.
Oh no, I don't want to take
Mando
away
in the
from.
booth.
I don't want to take away from you guys, and I'm trying to get on camera too. Oh hey everybody. So I'm not on camera yet. Now I am. Anyway, so the thing about Venom too, I don't know if I want to see Bane, man, because I feel it'd be weird to have Bane older than Bruce Wayne. Because ultimately in the comics, everyone knows Bane is the man who broke Batman's back, and for some reason I just can't see a senior citizen breaking Bruce Wayne's
No,
back.
I don't think he's gonna
So.
be. I mean, he probably won't be in this season or the next season or whatnot. But because I agree, I don't think Bane should be a really old dude when Batman actually comes about. But
It could be Bane's dad.
Yeah.
Senior citizen.
It could be
and
an
one
incarnation of Bane
so-
that nobody calls Bane.
One of our YouTube fans made a comment, and I thought
Yes.
this was interesting about the potential where if this show goes to this season and then they come back next season for season 2, if they progress the show around 5 years,
Yeah.
and make the people a little bit older so that we can get the progression of Batman and some of these characters sooner.
yeah,
Yeah.
This person's name is 54 Graham.
There it is.
G-R-A-A. Meh.
I would like to see I would like to see a young Bane. I would like to see. I would like to see a Hispanic Bane.
A little
you know?
Hispanic
The luchador
bodybuilder
mask.
kid.
Hispanic little kid. You know,
Or
what becomes
he
Bane.
should probably be like a really fat little kid.
I love
Like this
Bane.
little,
Yeah,
little short, fat
actually,
Hispanic
I can
kid.
see that. I could totally see that. That'd be really funny.
So great.
But what I do love about this episode, at least, is this is the origin of Venom as we see, and as we see it, anyone who takes Viper dies.
Yeah.
So this is obviously not Venom at all. This is
No.
like the very the basic building blocks, because anyone who knows Bane knows that he constantly needs Venom to be strong, to be super strong and be enormous. But at the same time, if he stops taking Venom, he's just a puny little person.
Right.
So he doesn't die like these characters do.
No.
Yeah.
His bones don't collapse inside of himself.
I would love to see.
Although-
He's one of my favorite villains.
Yeah, I
Although
love him.
Viper reminded me of yesterday for the first time I tried No Explode or NO Explode.
And explode.
Are
Yeah.
you on drugs,
I don't
Steve?
even know what that is.
It's a pre-workout.
Oh, okay.
It basically increases vascularity. So it
Consider
helps
this an
blood flow.
intervention.
Yeah, it's
It also hypes you up, like
really.
you roid out and your heart races really
I had
fast.
a really great workout, and then I couldn't. I didn't sleep last night. I just couldn't because I
couldn't
don't
come down
typically.
from it?
I don't
Simmer down to a
typically-
half a scoop and you'll be fine.
That's what I
You
learned.
have to wean your way up.
Yeah, I
the
had a
2 scoops
full-
is too much for you, sir.
I only had 1 scoop. I
Oh.
need a half a scoop, probably a quarter scoop.
So is this like an energy thing to get you to?
Yeah.
Okay.
It increases vascularity or blood flow.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you have more blood to the
Oxygen
muscles,
going
Yeah.
which creates more swollen muscles, and then also creates bigger muscles. And then you have superpowers,
Yeah.
like throwing ATM machines over your head.
Excellent.
I guess
That's-
this is
that's
like the
what-
real world Venom.
The real world Venom NO Explode. Check it out at your local drugstores. All right. So
They paid
anyway,
me.
we get this whole storyline then of Wellzine Corporation, which was part of Wayne Enterprises, and basically this was a doctor that used to work for them, and now he's gone rogue, basically trying to help Gotham and in a way helping Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that he's actually the villain this week when really his actions aren't
Kind of like an anti-hero.
yeah,
movie.
an anti-hero, exactly, because he's creating crime and he's killing people.
Yeah.
Fine, whatever. But I mean, the military does it all the time. So we don't need to go into that too deeply. But in a way, he's also helping the city because he's bringing to the attention of people something bad that's going to be worse if they let it go.
I like the line he said. Let me see if I could find it. Where he basically said that big things that happen to people don't matter unless you're important or unless you're rich, which is kind of the same thing that Gordon said earlier in the season, how he was telling Barbara, I think, how upset he was that it's so corrupt, the city, that nothing bad that happens really matters if you're, on the lower end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
It should be fair to everyone.
Yeah.
Exactly. So he kind of shares that same
doesn't-
outlook with Gordon, which I thought was interesting.
I think this is the second time Gordon's come face to face with a villain who's actually right on. Who's actually right on to his mindset, but they're just doing wrong.
Yeah.
And I suppose this would be examples of people who have broken instead
Yeah.
of bended. With the city pushing them and pushing them, and the things that Gotham has created and the troubles and the crime and the terrible aspects are breaking these people, and this is what we get.
Yeah.
So I think that sooner or later, some concessions are going to have to be made.
Possibly.
I'm predicting. Well, I'll wait.
Well, save that for predictions.
I was
Joyce,
like, I'm gonna.
you
wait.
even said in the
That's-
scene where Gordon gets taken, he's being forced into corruption.
Oh yeah, he was
Yeah.
basically oh my gosh, I forgot the lines in the scene. But every encounter when he was talking to Maroney.
Yeah, about Cobblepot and
about
the story and not killing
and
him.
Maroney threatens him. It's like he's forced to be corrupt. He's forced
Keep it hush
to
hush.
yeah,
Between
Yeah.
us.
exactly. So I mean, like you said, he's always kind of been coerced into being the cop that he is. But it's only getting worse from here the deeper he gets involved into these conflicts and gang wars and all that stuff. So poor guy doesn't want to be that cop, but he's kind of forced to be. So
And it's only going to go worse because he can't tell them that Cobblepot is alive. He just can't.
yeah.
That's not an option.
Otherwise he'll be dead.
He'll be dead.
Who finds out first?
Fish.
Yeah.
Fish Mooney. Will
I
find
think
out
Fish
first.
will.
Although-
Or maybe Falcone will find out and be mad that Fish didn't know.
Yeah, I think Falcone will find out first, and then we'll throw it at Fish's face, like like last minute or when she's
How
not
could you
expecting
let
it.
this slip?
He'll come up and tell her, "I know all of this, and then I know this too."
Yeah.
And then
What is it that we know?
about Nikolai and about you trying to take over the world and trying to push me out of the way, and then Cobblepot's still alive. He's gonna tell her, "I know all of this," but he's gonna do it in that way where he's gonna come up, maybe hand her a glass of wine, and they're gonna talk, and they're gonna have a nice little chit chat, and then it's gonna go downhill for her.
That'll be her big
Do
episode.
they kill her off?
Yeah.
They kill her
No,
off?
No,
no,
she
no,
needs
no.
to-
She's great.
She
No.
must. They didn't create a whole new character to kill her off in the middle of the
Why?
first
I agree.
season.
I mean, why not? You add characters that you don't know so that you can kill them off. then people aren't mad that you're changing the
She
story.
needs
so
to
many-
take over the city.
I mean, you're
Yeah.
not wrong, but I don't think she's gonna go.
Too many people like her.
By the way, speaking of killing people off, this is on a total tangent, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. And you mentioned it to me right after we finished last week's episode, Monse, about Robin Lord Taylor being on last week's episode of The Walking,
Walking
Dead,
Dead.
Yes.
as a little cameo guest. People nobody knew, and he got killed. So it's relevant. But somebody also made a joke on our YouTube thing that was really funny because in the scene he got hit in the head with a bat and then
Yeah.
they cut his throat. So the Batman got him.
Ah.
I had to bring that up. 'cause
That's
I thought it was
actually really
hilarious.
funny.
Yeah.
That's
That
hilarious.
person should put $1 in the same pun jar I put $1 in.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago when I said that Lil Wayne as we should.
Oh yeah.
Can we make hashtag
Bruce
Lil,
Wayne is now just Little Wayne.
Can
Lil
we
Wayne?
make hashtag Lil Wayne trend next week?
Yeah.
And
Probably.
we'll get a lot of Lil Wayne results. Not
Hashtag-
necessarily Bruce Wayne, but
Hashtag Lil Wayne. But 2
Well-
weeks ago when I said that Lil Wayne, if he's gonna be the bat boy for the Gotham baseball team.
Yeah.
Well, apparently Gotham has a university as well.
Yeah, like there's definitely it's a full city.
yeah.
Wouldn't it be awesome? Wouldn't it be awesome actually if the writers from The Walking Dead, because you would imagine that this was actually shot after he was cast in Gotham.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be awesome if they brought him back just to do that because that was kind of a pun and it was a little subliminal, like
Or
subtle
he
little
could,
tip?
or he could have been killed by anything, and they're like, "Oh no, he's got to get killed by a guy with a bat."
Yeah.
Interesting.
A bat guy.
Well, I mean, I
right?
wonder how that would all have overlapped.
You mean him
The
filming
film,
the
like,
production-wise?
The
well,
premiere of The Walking Dead, they shoot around like late July,
I
like June,
heard they
July.
flew
they
him
Ooh.
out for the one-day shoot.
They did. They flew
Like,
him out
just
for
to
that
be
one
in
time.
that
Yeah.
episode. So I want that's possible that they could have subconsciously did that.
Yeah. Like a little send off.
But I think also too part of it is when you cast him, it's like he's in another show that's doing really well, and it's good publicity for your show to
Yeah.
have this guy who you wouldn't really recognize until you like think about it later on.
And you don't have to know much. Other
I know,
than
and I wish
he's in
I
the-
didn't watch the episode until Monday night after we shot our show, and I saw him. I was like, oh man, I wish I could watch this show. You know,
When it-
my girlfriend
yeah.
hates the show, so I can't watch it when it's Sunday when she's there. I have to watch it the next day when she's in bed. It's too violent. I know. It's
Well, as a Walking Dead fan, it's just kind of weird. It came out of nowhere. If you don't really follow The Walking
Yeah.
Dead and even watch that episode like really intensely, you wouldn't even realize.
right. He just shows up for
who
a
the
second. and
character
then-
is. Yeah, we were talking about it yesterday on the AfterBuzz show for Walking Dead. Like,
Yeah.
if we didn't even bring it up, people would have been oblivious to it, and then they made reference to him again in yesterday's episode.
Yeah. A lot of people didn't remember that Robert Lord Taylor was in season 4. So when he showed up in the first episode of Walking Dead this season, it was like, oh wait,
Yeah.
that was him.
By the way,
Anyway.
look at the Gotham cast making
Yeah.
moves.
He's a great actor.
I agree.
I really like him.
I'm very much enjoying him as Cobblepot.
Yeah.
All right, so back to the drug. So he's passing it out freely, and basically it all is culminating to this one big plan to attack the rich and basically make them know that this is a serious matter and that there's corruption, there's crime, there's issues in Gotham, which everyone already knows. But it's interesting that he goes about it by attacking the board at Wayne Enterprises. Because, I mean,
or the middle management.
Yeah.
yeah, whatever. The party for Wayne,
Yeah.
because I mean that's the statement, right? Is to attack Wayne Enterprises, who owns the company that helped and forced him to create this drug and caused him to mess his ear up and leave the company.
Yeah.
I also liked our little professor cameo. He's like, "Of course I'm helping him." Like, are you kidding me? They've been forcing him to make these crazy drugs, the black market.
He was a crazy old man.
Yeah.
When he
Lifted Bullock with his.
sniffed Viper, I was like, he looks so creepy. Like an old man acting like that and moving like that was so weird and not convincing to me. Just because it's so out of character for elderly people. It was weird.
What's funny because he was holding him up by like the walker,
He
like
was like, ah!
strangling Bullock.
There were some folks on Twitter calling him Professor Exposition. 'Cause he just lined so much. Like, here's where the episode's headed. Where it's like, I thought he did a great job, and it was just
No, he
Giving
did.
us filling in bullet points and that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Why not?
yeah.
So, with the irregularities at Arkham, I'm again. I was talking about this before. I want to know when Bruce goes to the board. 3 weeks the most.
Maybe next week.
2 weeks. No, 2 weeks. I think he's gonna get a runaround next week.
Yeah.
Because I think, what was the woman what was her name when he was talking to at the
Molly
luncheon?
Mathis?
Yeah, Mrs. Mathis.
She was, before they got interrupted by Pulaski's, am I saying his name right? Podolsky's
Podolsky.
broadcast.
Salsky?
Potolsky.
Yeah,
It's
I don't
Potolsky.
forget.
Whatever.
Stan Potolsky.
Before they were interrupted by his broadcast, she was about to tell him that they have basically a specific protocol to talk to minors, and I thought she was going to say, we're going to make an exception for you or figure something
I
out.
felt like that's
Yeah.
where
Oh,
the
yeah.
words were going as well.
Yeah.
I felt like that exactly.
I'm sure they would. I mean, hello, is this kid? It's-
Yeah.
But I mean,
It's
even
Wayne's
if
child.
Alfred,
Yeah.
if Alfred sets it up, then
Yeah.
you know. And I feel like now that Alfred's on board, that's gonna happen sooner rather than
Definitely.
later. Because you felt like Alfred wasn't really. He's like, oh, that's her. You can talk to her, and he just like let him go. But now that he's like grabbing case files and helping him dig through it, that Alfred is gonna be more proactive with Bruce and finding out more information about what's going on at Wayne Enterprises and where the corruption is, because it's clearly inside.
Yeah.
Clearly,
Yeah.
Mr. Fox
Totally.
isn't there yet.
And Mathis was watching Gordon and Bullock go into Warehouse 39, right?
Yeah,
she
at
was
the
kind
end,
of
she was-
following them, and
And
that
do you
in
want-
She said
itself
to
is
let 'em-
corruption.
Do you
Yeah.
think that she had a hand in removing what was in there?
Yes.
Totally.
Completely. She knew it was in there, and that's why she's like, just let him be. They're not going to find anything. If they look into it further, then we'll do
address the
something.
situation.
We'll address the situation.
So we need to know then, I guess, more about what other situations there are.
Exactly.
What all corruptions are going on? Do you think? And she's on the phone with somebody? So is she the main source of corruption, or who else is she working for?
Ooh.
Probably one of the gang leaders.
I have a big prediction on that one.
Nice.
Do you want to write it down so you don't forget it?
That's what I'm doing.
And what did you find out about the dates? You were supposed to be looking up the calendar for the episode
they,
airing.
they only know the next 2 weeks.
That's okay.
But the next 2 weeks, there will be Gotham. And then my guess is they're not going to take a break till about Thanksgiving.
I would say after. I'd say more into December.
Me too.
Yeah.
They get
Yeah, they
they,
might.
they take a week off at Thanksgiving, and then
And then give us four.
get three
or
more
four.
episodes.
It's probably 5 Mondays in December.
Give us
I'm
3,
guessing
and then take a break
completely.
over Christmas and New Year's, and come back in
Possibly.
mid January.
Mm.
For 22 run episode shows, that's pretty standard, unless there's something else major going on in the network. Like NBC did it last year for the Olympics and
Yeah.
other random things. We'll find out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
It's hard to say. All right. Do you think that this week's episode? Well, I guess let me phrase that. What was your favorite part about this week's episode? Monse?
I would have to say everything with Fish Mooney, really. I think she might be my favorite in the show. I really like how she was grooming
Liza.
baby girl. I liked how she called her baby girl. She's like, baby girl, but I'm not
I'm
your
not your
mama.
mama.
I'm not your mama. I like how she called her baby girl. I really like all the small parts that Fish does have. To me, they really carry a lot of the story. They make me interested. They make me want to sit and watch it. And now
it's leading to stuff that we don't know about.
exactly. I like
It's
that.
unknown to it.
And now that I don't know if any of you guys know, I read an article that when she auditioned to be Fish for Gotham, she was like, I'm not going to tell them who Fish Mooney is. I'm going to show them. And walked in with a shirtless man on a leash. Like,
Huh.
Nice.
just, I thought of Michonne from Walking Dead.
Yeah.
But that's what she did and when she went into audition. So now that I know that, I'm like, you are just a badass. Like, I believe it even more.
I decided
Like her-
non-disclosure to be that shirtless man.
that was you? No
that was
wonder.
me.
Oh, okay.
Part of the reason she got the part.
Got it. Yeah.
Now he really is Michonne from The Walking Dead. I'm calling you a walker.
Got it. Thank you.
There you go.
So yeah,
I don't watch Walking
Thanks, Nana.
Dead. I apologize.
Yeah, I really like Fish. I like what's happening with Liza. I like that she's
Joyce?
taking him down.
I really enjoy Enigma's presence on the screen.
I love when the body died. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
He-
Fascinating.
He adds a bit of a comedic relief that's needed in the show, and just because I also really love Enigma's character in general, just seeing him and like kind of explaining what is happening to these people and explaining everything. Like he figures out little things that really carry on the what's the word, the cases when they're trying to figure things out. He kind of unravels some information for them that moves things further. But he's cool. He's funny. I love his presence, and he's a great actor.
So how long till
as
we get more of
Enigma.
him?
A while. I think for now he's going to be sort of
in the
more of a
background.
supporting character, and
Little
he's,
bits and pieces.
Yeah, he's not quite at the level Oswald is at yet. So
Yeah.
he'll get there. But he really added a lot for me this episode.
Steve?
I liked all the Lil Wayne stuff this week.
I did too.
Just a lot of nice fun. Like he's just being a little detective, and he's ultimately gonna get more information than Gordon gets.
But he drove the plot a lot this week. He was one of the things I was saying at the top of the episode, that there was so much plot driving actions. He was critical to that because we got so much about Wayne, which then led to the corruption, which led to the gangs, which led to the crime. It's just all this trickles downhill.
Yeah.
Go
It's
on.
all.
He's
No, that was
adding
about
to
it.
it.
He was just he's Lil Wayne, little detective, little Batman.
Yeah.
I really like the scene with Gordon and Maroney and Cobblepot where he's telling the story. Like I said that before when we were talking about it. I felt like, and I talked about this a couple weeks ago, I was worried about Ben McKenzie as an actor, how far he could be willing to go with Gordon, and I felt like he pushed a lot this week. And like it gave me something in him that I haven't really seen for sure as his character, and it gave me a little bit of more depth to the Gordon character, which I really liked.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay, good. I'm glad everyone agrees. I'm glad I'm right again, as always. Hey, before we go any farther, I want to talk to you guys about the iTunes.
Let's do it.
Don't forget to rate us on the iTunes. We have like 45 stars. Thank you guys for
Cool.
rating us.
That's
if you haven't
awesome.
rated us,
Thank
rate
you.
us now. If you guys haven't
You
rated
could
us,
be
just
the-
rate us too.
You could
Yeah.
be the 46th star.
You
No,
can.
let's make it
I'm
to
gonna
the
be the
50th
46th
star.
star.
That's really good for our
milestone
show
down.
in relation to our rankings on iTunes, as well as if you leave us comments on YouTube, giving us views. That's awesome because it makes us trending. It makes us easy to find. For those people who haven't seen us, tweet about us, whatever. iTunes, YouTube,
Yeah.
AfterBuzz. Comment. Leave Steve comments about how cute his baby face is. Now that he's had to
How he
shave.
looks 17.
I think I look 12.
You're
Perfect.
too tall.
Done. You're too
Am I
tall.
too
Big
tall to look
12-year-old.
Yeah.
I was this tall.
Here, I'm 12-year-old.
I was this tall when I was 12.
Really?
I was-
Lucky.
I've been 6'1"
I was
since I was
this
like
tall
11.
when I
Perfect.
was 7.
You've been that tall since you came out.
Yeah, I just nothing changed since like 3rd grade.
She's actually standing up right now. If
Good
you can't
times.
see,
I am.
this is all of it right here.
I am.
All right, so I feel like since you have so much, Steve, that you want to say to us at this point, I'm going to go ahead and move right into the AfterBuzz TV prediction.
Let's do it.
I love the flashy lights.
Now,
Yes.
your AfterBuzz TV
Prediction. Steve, that means you're going last.
Wow.
Joyce. So in this trailer for next week, we saw what seems to be Scarecrow.
Yes, but I was also doing a little bit of reading, and some
Light
people.
internet reading 4 minutes before we came on the air. Go on.
Hey, gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Some people were quick to review the end trailer for the next episode, and they were saying, although it appears to be Scarecrow right off the bat, like what you see, that's what you immediately think. It could be Professor Zaz. It could be Pig, or it could be Goat Boy. I'm not too familiar with Goat Boy, but Pig does wear a mask, like a
similar
actual
Stitch
Pig mask. But this is like kind of, since this is an origin story, it could be like the beginning of Pig, where he doesn't quite
Have the pig yet.
have the pig mask yet, or
So
that
this is like
developed.
the early Spider-Man costume made of sweatpants.
Exactly.
Okay.
If that's what you want. If that's what
Only
the
if-
analogy you want to use.
Only if Macho Man shows up.
Oh yeah!
Buzzsaw!
But it could be anyone. It could also be a completely new made-up character that they're gonna introduce to the show. But there's that, and then I also predict that at the end we saw Alfred really help Bruce out instead of tell him not to do what he wants to do. And this is where we're gonna start seeing Alfred sort of be the
caring.
Alfred that we know.
The caring Alfred, the
kinda-
one Alfred.
Now he finally realizes what Bruce wants to do, and that it's actually the right thing to do. Like, Bruce isn't just acting on revenge; he's acting on trying to understand, and that's, I think, the angle that Alfred appreciates more. So we'll see a better Alfred, or the Alfred that we know.
The warm, caring
Yeah, as he
Alfred.
goes on.
English Alfred.
Yeah.
Monse?
I think that we are going to start to see Fish's plan kind of fail. I think she's going to fail before she succeeds. And I think Falcone is going to start to figure out what she's really up to. Like, I actually think he's going to figure out that Liza was a setup, but he's not going to reveal all that. I think he's just going to keep it all in and eventually strike back. But I don't see her and Nikolai succeeding quickly. I see her failing and then maybe going back for another battle.
Does she switch sides and go to Maroney?
No, she won't. Because Maroney wouldn't take her.
Probably not.
I don't think Maroney would take her.
No.
He was so hesitant to take Cobblepot. Like, imagine. No, he won't.
I don't
take
think
Fish.
she wants to. I think she just wants her own.
I agree.
She
Her
wants
own
the
little
city.
army.
Yeah.
She wants the whole city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think Nikolai will die, but not her. Like, she will continue on, but he will be the one that to die.
Introducing a character that we don't really know very well so they could kill him. Who does that? I'm watching
Walking Dead.
everyone.
TV shows.
Every
Like, why are you pointing at me? What'd I do?
media, because you were making fun of me for saying that was an option to kill somebody that they
but it's
introduced.
different. Everyone's talking
So-
about her.
So we can kill
she's
Nikolai,
a
but we
main
can't kill
character.
Fish.
Yeah.
She's a main character.
She's on a billboard, for Christ's sake. We can't kill her.
You can't kill her.
There
Yeah.
you go.
I saw her at the bus stop.
Did you?
I mean, the one I drove by.
Oh.
I wasn't sitting there, but who rides the bus? Steve?
Some of us read the
Hey, Steve, speaking of Steve riding the bus.
Do you want-
the short bus? Tell me some predictions.
Oh, you're okay. You said I was going last.
Yeah, go ahead. No.
Okay.
You're last to me.
I think next week. Wow. I think next week will be the Scarecrow.
I agree.
think in the coming weeks when Arkham opens, Welzen's gonna be testing Venom on the prisoners at Arkham Prison.
Ooh, good call.
I think the Wayne board is going to consist of both Maroni and Falcone, and that's why it's going to take Lil Wayne so long to find them.
Yeah.
I think Gordon is going to have a loose friendship with Maroni that he's ultimately going to turn on Maroni, leaving Fish Community to take over the whole city. And either related or unrelated, I think by the end of the season, Gordon will quit or get fired from the GCPD and go rogue.
Ooh,
I had
that's
some
a good
predictions
one.
this week, guys.
I like that one.
Yeah.
Wow, you've
I like the last one a lot.
Yeah, the last one was
Rogue.
good.
Does it eventually lead to him coming back to the GCPD?
Over a very long period of time. Like the way I see it is by the end of this season, he'll be disgraced and have to quit or
Do a little
resign
sleuthing on his
or-
own?
or just get suspended or fired,
And then GCPD will catch wind of his success, and then they'll want him back, and they'll trust his ways. And
then they'll bring him back as just.
Does
a
that mean
higher
Essence
ranking
getting killed
person.
off?
no,
Yeah.
not necessarily.
No,
We need a Captain
wouldn't
Gordon
think
to
so.
later be Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah.
that could over time that could happen. I just
Too soon?
Well, and she's just the homicide captain. Right? Is she the captain of the whole force or just homicide?
That I don't know. I can ask her.
We should.
Okay.
Is she at the bus too?
I will. I will send her a Twitter message and find out for sure.
Excellent.
Good.
Yes. Anywho, that's
Your
a-
turn.
No, I feel like we should just leave it at that. That was so much to take in that we just call it a day.
All right.
Guys,
That's how I-
let's call it a day. Thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV here for our Gotham After Show, episode 5, Viper. We'll be back next week for episode 6. Until then, hey, why don't you tell everyone where they can find you, Steve Kauffman?
They can find me at Steve Kauffman. That's KAUFMANN. I do the Modern Family After Show here on Wednesday, and my Harry Potter improv team. Yes, that's a thing. A week from this Friday, we'll be doing a show at Kamikaze, Friday the 31st.
Hey,
Cool.
Joyce Ajouri.
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Jay Ajouri. That's
Are you
Jajouri.
sure?
I am sure.
Spell it again.
Jajouri. And you can find me on Sunday nights, The Walking Dead podcast, and Tuesday nights, The Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. podcast.
Monse Bolanos.
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Monse Bolanos, MonseBolanos. And you can also catch me on the Scorpion panel along with Nando.
What? And as always, you can find me at RyanHooks92 on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. Until next week, we'll see you later.
Peace
Bye.
out.
Later.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.